talk about something important which is called as date tracking. So what is date tracking? Date tracking means almost every data in HCM has a start date and an end date. Okay. So Fusion allows you to enter all dates up to 31st December 4712. When data is entered, we put a start date as and when we want that data to be visible. And the system will mostly put an end date behind the scene in the tables. And the end date is always 31st December 4712. Okay. And Oracle predicts the world will come to an end on 31st December 4712. All right. So that's why all data is end dated on 31st December 4712. So you have, when we enter a job, you could have the manager job with a start date of 1st June 2020. And even if you don't enter an end date in the table behind the scene, system will put an end date of 31st December 4712. Okay. Similarly, if you have an employee record, start date can be 8 June 2020, end date 31st December 4712. And like I said, you don't have to enter the end date, system will put it by itself. All right. Now, there are two types of date tracking there. One is called the update mode. In update mode, the history will be retained. Okay. And the tables that have this type of date tracking ends in _F, name of the table. Okay. So let's take the example of Rajesh Kumar, who starts on 8th of June. So end date in the system is 4712. Marital status is single. On 1st of July 2020, he gets married. So what will the system do? The previous marital status of single will be end dated. Now, if he gets married on 1st July, till when is he single? Yes.
Should I answer?
Sorry?
No. You're asking, should I answer or I'll ask?
Yes, yes.
I'll let
Okay, any
answer.
one of you, anyone.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, go ahead.
So basically, what is our record one? Okay, 1 second.
He gets married on 1st of July 2020. So till when is he single?
30th June 2020.
Correct. So which is, if you think of it this way, one day before the day he gets married.
Correct.
So what the system will do is, system will create now two records, record 1, record 2. Record 1 is the latest record where you have the start date as 1st of July and his marital status is married. And that will have an end date of 31st December 4712. Now, from when to when is he single? He joined the organization on 8th of June 2020. and end date, that is he's single till 30th of June 2020. So the system now has two records. The first record, which is the, you can say the old record, is 8 June 2020 to 30th of June 2020. And the new record is from 1st of July 2020 till 31st December 4712, where his marital status is married. See if this is clear. So wherever there is date tracking, you will get an option of update. You choose update and the system will do this automatically. You have to choose a date. So effective date, we call it effective date. So that would be the effective date of the record. So the changes could be anything. So maybe, somebody gets married, or, somebody's name change, mostly like, we have members, people who get, who want to change their last name, particularly after marriage. So for them, the date would be from what date they got married, so that the name will change from that day. Or there might be, some changes in their assignment. So the person was an executive, he got promoted. So promotion data is date tracked also. So you would have till 1st of July, the person was an executive. From 2nd of July, he or she became a manager. Okay. Then you have like somebody's what else changes we can talk about now?
Even if it's hike or anything, even that will count.
Sorry?
Even if a employee has any hike or something, even that
Hike,
will be.
yeah, hike actually what happens? Hike, yes, it is also date tracked, but it is date tracked in a different way. There is only a change date. So from that change date, that takes place. That is also one place where you can have the date tracking. Yes. Then you could have changes in the assignment. So manager change. So the employee records remain the same, but only the manager changes. Right? So the manager will change from one position to from one person to another person. And so this kind of records, position, information on the position might change. So you could have like, the department changes or the job changes because of certain reorganization in the system, or because or the status of the position might change. Initially it was active, later on it is frozen, right? So no longer can you hire into that position. So that's also another reason for the change, right? Now, all of this you'd like to keep history. Okay. Now, there might be some changes where you may not want to keep history. Can you think of any particular reason why you may not want to keep history for a record change?
Most of the time it happens because of incorrect entry.
Yes.
Just one.
Yes. Incorrect entry, right? You enter wrong data and you don't want to do no use keeping history of incorrect data. Okay. Now, when Rajesh Kumar joined on 8th of June 2020, we have said the marital status is single, right? In our previous example. So now he realizes his status is single. When he logs in, or, usually new employees are asked to verify their records. So once he logs in, he finds that his status is single, whereas he is actually married. Right? So that's incorrect data. So there was a mistake in entering his status in the system. There is no need for history. Original record is directly changed without a second record. Okay, so as if you are striking off single, you are erasing it and making it married. Okay, so this is called as correction or correct mode. So there are two modes: date tracking, update mode, correct mode. Update keeps history. Correction does not keep history. Okay, update all this date tracking tables. The name of the tables end in _ F. So a typical example is per all people F, per person names F. So these are the tables where there is date tracking. Okay, any questions? Okay, now the other thing I wanted to talk about is quick codes, also called as lookups. So these lookups is nothing but a list of values which is shown to the user. There are three types that you can use that are provided by Oracle. One is called system, one is called extensible, another one is user. So system means list is provided by Oracle and no changes are allowed. Extensible means list is provided by Oracle but can be added by users. And values provided by Oracle should not be deleted. User means values can be added or deleted by users as per their wish, right? And these are like parent-child values, right? You have the parent and you have the child. Lookup type is the parent and the lookup codes are called as values. And each code has a meaning, description, tag, start date, end date. And these values can be accessed through the functional setup manager. So this is the screen. I think we have seen this in our last class. Do you recall this? So this is the list of values for email type. This is called the lookup type. And see here, the lookup level is extension. I said three types: system, extension, user, extensible or extension, and user.
So so what is this, overall useful for? I mean,
Useful for,
management.
yes. So when you are entering an email, you have an email type. Okay, email type is list of emails, different email types: work email, home email, business, others. Like I have one here value called SP weekend email.
Okay.
Right? In the database, you'd want to keep different types of emails of the person or different types of phone numbers. Right? Lot of times companies ask employees to provide alternate phone numbers. So in an emergency, somebody else can be contacted. Right? So you can maintain that list. You can say, employee email, spouse email, or employee phone number, spouse phone number. just in case something goes wrong.
Can we create a lookup type also?
You can. The main issue here is where will you use it?
Correct.
The place where you can use it is like inside a descriptive flex field. So when we look at descriptive flex field, we'll look at how you may add it here also, because that would be a table type of value set.
Okay.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay. Next thing we'll look at is something called as a person type. Now the word person that we talk about from the application perspective refers to an employee, applicant, contact, contingent worker, all of them. So an employee may be, or a person may be an employee, right? Now, the person could start off as a candidate. From a candidate, he becomes applicant. Then from an applicant, he becomes employee. Every person record is uniquely identified in the database by person ID. Okay, we differentiate each person through the person type. Okay, so we differentiate each person through the person type. Oracle provides what it calls as a system person type. The system person type you cannot add or change. Instead, implementation can define what is called as a user person type. And user person type can be as per your requirement. And it can be as many as required. One user person type can be identified as default. So whenever you create a person of that person type, the system will automatically use that default user person type. And user person types, you cannot delete. You can only make them active or inactive. So this is how the person type screen looks. It's a long one, so that's why it has been truncated into two parts. This place, can you see this system person type? And when you click on employee, you get the corresponding employee user person types. So if you click on employee, you will get all the user person types linked to the employee. Okay.
So
Yes.
if an employee is not working anymore in the same organization, so even at that time, I mean, the data will show. I mean, it should
Yes.
be removed, right?
No, what happens is system has the option of keeping it. You can make the person as an ex-employee. The system person type typically is ex-employee. Now
So
look at the usefulness of this. Suppose the person retires. The person is eligible for certain benefits or may be eligible for certain benefits. Company wants to pay the pension or company wants to pay an annuity, whatever it is. So that will continue even after he retires, he or she retires. So you can't just delete the record from the system. Okay. Now, another situation is the system allows you to rehire an employee. That means he worked in your organization for 3 years. He left the organization. After 2 years, he comes back. There's a lot of cases, right, where employee comes back to the same organization. So you, in that case, you don't need to re-enter all the data. What you will do is you will only rehire that person so that all the old data will be available. Okay. Based on date tracking, the system will put an end date or put a end date on the person type which ends. For example, the person type ends, suppose the employee changes, oops, sorry. Suppose the employee record changes from person to from employee to ex-employee. So he is an employee till a particular date. After that, he becomes an ex-employee. So system will do an update. So till 30th of June, he is an employee. From 1st of July, he becomes an ex-employee. Okay. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is the assignment status type. Just like person type is used to track the person related information of the, or what type of person record it is, assignment status type keeps a record of the assignment status of the employee. So the assignment status type will have a user assignment status type which is linked to HR status and a payroll status. So for each type, you can specify what is the HR status, what is the payroll status. So what do we mean by payroll status? We mean whether to process the person's payroll or not to process the person's payroll. Now you guys are from HR, you will be able to tell me. Have you seen cases where employees disappear without informing?
Yes.
Yes, Ankita?